I got love, I got life, found my way, yeah that's right. I got love, I got life, I found my way, I sacrificed, now I'm on my way, I found my way, said I'm on my way, I found my way, now I'm on my way, I found my way, said I'm on my way, I found my way.
Everything feels so good and everything feels so right. It feels so right. I be out here winning in life. Don't pay your hate, I know mine. No bad vibes, I ain't got no time for that. That paper, I'll be on my grind for that. You might see me in Dubai, but don't be so surprised, cause
I got love, I got life, found my way, yeah that's right. I got love, I got life, I found my way, I sacrificed, now I'm on my way, I found my way, said I'm on my way, I found my way, now I'm on my way, I found my way, said I'm on my way, I found my way.
when I wake up, so grateful, feel so blessed, so thankful for the life that I live. I think back to the times when it was so painful, but it's all good now. I live the life that I should now. I had to pay the price, so glad I realized
I got love, I got life, found my way, yeah that's right.
Hello, everyone, and here we go. We are in the live show. Brett, how you going?
Great, Mark. How are you?
Oh, exciting times, eh? Like,
Yes.
would you believe that Sony has done it? They finally
Yes.
have brought everything up.
Yes. Very
Hello,
impressive.
everyone. I'm seeing a lot of people, known people. Look, Michelle is here, Steve Wag.
Hello.
How you going, guys? Michael Maestro, how you going, Michael? This is probably your first time in the show, so how you going?
Yeah.
And
welcome.
yeah, so I'm just sort of like waiting for the big build up. You know, like we've got less than 5 hours for the final hurdle to be done with, and we can all order this camera. It's a real interesting time for us. Okay, so let's talk about all the leaks, Brett. We've had a lot of leaks, and we had a lot of stuff coming through today. And like the very first thing that we want to talk about is basically this A7S3 obviously is a camera that's video centric. It is purely simply that. If you are not interested in videography or more leaning towards only want to do photos, this might not be the actual camera for you. But if you are interested in video and you want to get into it, now, excellent. This is the camera that we are waiting for now.
The long wait is over.
Yeah.
This camera's been delayed that many times. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And with help of the pandemic as well, that put things behind as well. So apart from any other issues that Sony had, getting this camera a reality, basically. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, here we go. Carl from Bruzy Photo Walks. How you going, Carl? And we've got a lot of people sort of starting to slowly flow in, which is really great and good to see. New, we are, for all the people that don't know, we run these live shows just about every weekend and we just decided today is the day the new announcement is coming out in 5 hours, and we thought we'd just do a live show and talk about all the things that we know about. And, well, Brett...
and a few other things that we've noticed that other people haven't picked up. So, yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So why don't we just get straight into it and have a bit of a chat about what we've seen, and this is the very first thing I'm going to show. It's the actual flip out screen that we've seen happening. So this is just a very quick video, guys. Just a screen grab almost. It's only seconds. So have a look at this. So there you go. That was that was very quick, wasn't it?
Yep.
If everyone has seen that, that was the flip out screen, and quite interesting that we're getting that. It's a fully articulating screen, which is the very first time it's been put into a mirrorless Sony camera.
And
mirrorless full frame Sony camera, I should say.
And apart from that, the fully touch screen as well. So for the very first time.
Yeah.
So, and a total new menu look.
Exactly.
And so forth.
Exactly.
So a lot of things, like I said right from before, I said to you, Mark, expect the unexpected and more than what you actually ever thought that you're going to get. So, yeah, it's great to see some of the things that have finally come out.
Yeah, true. True.
Mm.
How about if I, again, hello to everyone, and Marissa's come in. A lot of people are hopping in now, and Bill is here. Hey, going, Bill. So we're starting to pack out the house, which is great. Okay, now this is obviously the external look of the camera. I believe this might just be a mock-up. Or actually, Brett, what have you got to say about this front of this camera? Can you actually see that there's something happening there? No one has actually seen this. No one has been talking about this.
No one's picked it up, and no one's actually looked at the front at the moment. But if you look where under the mode dial at the front, directly underneath it, where the infrared light that is normally is, you'll see a white dot right beside it. And
yeah, so basically you're
trying to figure.
See, this is the A7. Sorry, the A9 camera, and you'll see there's only one sensor on.
That's not, that's the RF.
This is the RF.
Focus.
Yes. Now we are not sure what the second button or configuration is. So we are just guessing at the moment, guys.
So if anybody has any ideas what you think it is, leave it down in the comments, and we want to get you guys chatting amongst yourself too.
Yeah. I mean, this could be a low light sensor for this camera because we are talking 400,000 plus ISO on this camera. So obviously this is a 12 megapixel camera, 12.1 megapixels, so to be exact. Very interesting. Now, how about if I slip on over to the next image? Okay, so just switch that off. Okay, so obviously we've got again a steady shot inside, but also we've got an electronic steady as well in this camera. So we've got a lot of improvements here for the actual steady holding.
Yeah. So that's the first, having a steady shot IBIS.
Yeah.
That's original, and then plus the active mode on top of that for your processing in your film editing. So there's a double whammy there. So yeah, you're going to get extra stabilization add into your editing in post.
Yeah, Michael is a videographer, and he reckons it's a tally light. So
yeah, there is a tally light there, but we're talking about a little white. It looks white, but it does look like a sensor beside the tally light.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a second a sensor light or something, because it's white out. I would think that it would be a sensor light.
Yeah.
And and
that's
Bill says it's estimated to be around 5K Australian dollars, which is about 3,500 US. Yeah. And that could be about right, Bill. And Sony, take my money. This looks very, very good, actually.
As far as I can tell, Mark's ready to sell his R4.
I'm ready. I'm ready to give blood for this. Okay, so I'm just going to move on with this one and show guys the actual flip-out screen. So as you can see, this is the... hang on, I'll move us over to this side so it's a little bit easier to see. So this is the view of the flippy screen, and Sony is upside down, but nevertheless, we are actually... we're looking at that brand new spanking flippy screen.
You know what? It actually reminds me of the A57.
Yes.
It had the same thing.
Yeah.
But, you could, I'm pretty sure you could do that with the A753, A57, sorry. So, and did the same thing. But it wasn't out the side, it was down the bottom. So that was the only downfall about that.
Riz thinks it's a button, that little light thing, but it's not. It won't be a button, Riz. It will be something else. Yeah.
It'd definitely be a low light sensor or some sort like that. So, yeah.
Well, the logo has to become upside down, I guess, unless you actually do some light trickery or something like that. And we're not. I mean, by the time you actually flip it out and around that way, you would actually flip it over and front facing. So then Sony is straight again. Yeah.
Yep. So basically, what I'm saying
was joking.
It's pretty much, the screen is pretty much how the A57 was, but that the A57 used to come down below the camera, not up
Yeah,
the top,
yeah.
out the side. So it's not the first time Sony's ever done it. So it's just the first
Well,
time. On the
as I said, first time mirrorless full frame. This is it.
Yep.
And we've been waiting for so long for this finally to come into state, and it's going to be great. So overall, the actual body is essentially it's the size of an A7R4 or A9 II, and all the button configuration is about the same, except the,
Record
as you can
button.
see on the screen, the C1 button is now on the bottom there, right next to the AF on button. And,
where it used to be the record button.
yeah, so that's been swapped around. The record button is now there where the C1 button used to be. So that's a really interesting observation there as well, and a good idea, because when you look at when you look at the A9 button, you'll see that it's just a little bit awkward when you want to get to it. It's just sort of like a bit of a, your face, when your face is on the viewfinder and you're looking through the EVF, and then you want to record, it's sort of like it's just a little bit in the way. I've always been annoyed by that, but it seems to be fixed now. Yeah, so it's really good. Has anyone got any questions so far? Like, I mean, we're just sort of just flying along and just talking to ourselves here. But obviously this is a live show and we want to have people commenting and getting right into it.
Yep.
And the log goes upside down on the screen on the HX90V, but that screen only has 2 positions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so...
and I just want to mention too, the other thing that I was in 2 minds about the touchscreen becoming fully touchable, because they haven't moved the EVF cushion eyepiece out further, because I don't, I had another thought about it too, because this is
the
a
iRest.
video.
Yeah.
This is actually a video centric camera. There's less time you're actually going to be looking through the EVF unless you're shooting bright days. That's the bonus, having that EVF, get the full experience. But in general photography, I've always believed that the eyepiece should be moved out forward, because I have a lot of problem. I have to turn off my touch screen on my A7 III to turn that off, because my nose always keeps touching the screen and it keeps moving the focus mode spot around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but when it was double confirmed in today, and saw it,
and obviously this EVF is much bigger now. We are talking about 9 point something megapixels. So, and also I've realized that if you look at the A9, the actual glass is bigger. Like, it's a bigger size glass, I believe, as well. So the viewpoint for glass wearers is going to be really great. Yeah, so let's just move on to the next picture. I'm just sort of I've got screen grabs here, left, right, and center from the leaked video, guys. I mean, if no one knows about this, we had a bit. There's been a bit of a leak that shouldn't have happened, and obviously,
well done,
I mean,
B&H.
Yep. Well, I'm not going to mention names, but you did.
Well, I did, but I was very shocked that anything like this was going to be leaked before a major announcement.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of things happening behind the scenes. So
yeah. Well, as you can see, like, I mean, the image. I thought I'd bring this up. I mean, the quality of the image is obviously not good because it's a screen grab of the video, but you can see the color. The colors are really nice and rich, and so the actual the color science on this camera is perfect, and all go to hell. Like Sony does not have bad colors. So yeah, well done. So the color science would be the same as the ZV-1 as well. So we've already seen that happening, and there he goes. And what's Michael
don't
saying
forget, Mark, to put up people's questions on the screen too.
What's that?
So put people's questions. That's it. There you go.
Yeah. Well, people are not asking many questions. Just waiting for it to flow through. Okay, so Michael says he's buying 2. That's exactly what I was saying to Brett before. And I might actually buy 2 of these. I saw the true specs, and this camera is going to be great for small production. Exactly. Man, when they show this camera, it's like, wow.
Yep.
And I think it's going to have a wow factor. I think this camera is going to be sold out in no time. So I think as soon as the pre-orders are ready, I'll be firing off. My credit card is going towards them.
Especially when we heard and find out this leak video actually proved that. Well, I don't know if it actually proved, but he said no overheating.
No overheating. No, he was. This reviewer was actually in full sun, and I think he was recording for over an hour in all different frame rates, etc. And he said there's no overheating. It's just not, it's not failing on him, which is great. Again, in this image here, you can see the brand spanking new menu system that we've got, and you'll see all the icons. The sectional icons are on the left-hand side now instead of where they've been before,
up the top,
up the top now. So it's all on the side now. So
what
I
basically
think
happens?
it's improved
Touch on the
a lot.
left-hand side, and touch on the left side. A menu comes up on the side of it, so it stands out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the screen is full touch, so everything works touch now. So menu system, focusing, touch focusing, everything is available now for people. So it's fully spec'd out. Even though the screen resolution is still going to be, we're missing out there a little bit. I mean, the screen resolution is still 1. So it's still the same screen resolution as what is on the A7 III and A9.
But we don't know yet till the announcement is made.
Yeah.
Could be a bit more that we don't know of.
Well, it could be all trickery. So, we don't know if this is actually the camera. Maybe they just tricked us, Brett. Okay, so, and as you can see, these are all the formats, guys. I got the screen grab, and you can see the A7SIII has got a HS 4K as well, so we can actually have so this is a small 4K, so it's a much better to transfer and work with 4K format. All availability is here, so we've got S4K, SHD, SI 4K and SI HD, XAVC. So it's quite incredible what they've dished out here.
Yeah. So those 2 last ones down the bottom, they're obviously for the U cards. What were they? The CF Express Type A cards. So if you're using those 2 last formats, you're going to have to use those particular cards to read and write really quickly because they're bigger files and more data.
Well, I actually never understood why people whinged about the Sony menu system. I've never found a problem with it. Yes, and it's true, but we've also had sometimes issues where some of the items were not in the right category, so we just wanted them shifted over, etc. But look, I mean, once we've got this camera in our hands and we're doing a review on it, we'll definitely be able to tell how much more improved it is. And obviously Sony has spent a great amount of time redesigning it, and it'll be interesting to see what they've got.
Well, actually, right from the scratch. This camera has been redesigned from the bottom up.
Yep.
Totally done. Pretty much in the same body as the R4, and there's bits and pieces, similar bits and pieces still in from the R4 mainly, and a bit from the A9 and a bit from the old S2. If you look at top dial of the shutter or aperture dial, where it's sitting on top, it's not actually in the top body part of the body. So things like that, yes, yeah.
And Steve says quad sensor question mark, and it's a what is it? I didn't write this down, Brett, but it's a Bionx sensor. Sorry, chipset in there.
Yep.
Now the sensor is dual stack, so I mean they'll be very much in line with what we've got on the A9 type. It's going to be really good for rolling shutter as well. So we're going to be having zero rolling shutter.
Yeah, so it's the U Bronze XR processor.
Yeah, so XR, yes.
Yeah, so this one is going to be very capable to do a lot more major firmware updates as well, I believe, as well. I think it's going to be pretty much the same what they did with the A9.
Yeah.
When they actually made a whole new camera from an old body. So, yeah. Yeah,
and here again you can see the file formats. Again, this is the actual look from the inside the menu. Yep. And you've got all these selections, which is just great. I can't wait to get a hold of this camera and put it through its paces, and I'm sure other people are thinking the same. And okay, so we've got recording frame rates of 120p. So it's okay. So recording is 120p internally on this camera, which is amazing. 422 at 10-bit, which is wow, it's something. That's something that I didn't expect Sony would give us, and they've got this beautiful silver tray ready for us. I think it's just fantastic.
And I have to admit the U codec too, I believe, haven't they? Because it's a lot. They improved the U codec to editing and make it more easier. And
now, from what I understand, I mean, I watched another Max Yurev video, and he explained it a bit better. He was the previous video. He was having all these problems with editing the Canon codec. Now, what we've got is different varieties or different flavors of the codec H.265, and apparently we've got H.265 in the Sony camera as well, but it's a better to edit kind of codec, and it's just really, really, really hard to explain all that, and I'm still wrapping my head around it all. From what I understand, the new ARM chipsets from Apple are going to be dealing with this a lot easier. And as you've seen, Max Yurev was actually doing an edit on an iPad tablet, and it was just flowing through, whereby he was having problems with a $15,000 Apple computer cheese grater. So it's just quite incredible what these new chips CPUs can do. And Steve says, I have the RX 107. The sensor in this camera is like the A9. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's called Mini A9. Yeah.
I just want to go back to Steve Wag, what he said, quad sensor. Well, it's actually a back illuminated stack sensor. That's what I can remember.
Yeah, it's stacked. Yes. Back illuminated. Yeah.
So it's the first there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a really interesting camera. I mean, guys, don't be put off by 12 megapixels, because 12 megapixels is a lot of megapixels, and you will experience a lot less noise with this camera and better sharpness, which is interesting in low light especially. And Michael says this menu is like a mixture of the A7 series and FS7 series. Yeah, it is. Menu, the way it functions. If you're a normal A series shooter, it won't be hard at all to use it, and FS shooters will feel at home as well. And again, this marries up with both types of cameras, and it's sort of like it's a B-roll video camera for professionals. I would say that's what I would call it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fantastic. And Michael is already sold; he's already buying too. So. Okay, and
but also, even saying what he's just said too, that's also bringing in the new cinema like Venice look into this camera, but it's not the Venice like the F9. So they've got another look that's similar to that's going to come out with this camera as well.
Oh, and Daniel has hopped in. How you going, Daniel? Good to see you here, mate. I was hoping that you would pop in. We got candy to hand out here. This is like a little shopping basket of good information.
Yeah.
And obviously the information has leaked out for some reason. Someone decided to do a YouTube video a little bit too early, just a tiny little bit too early. And you can see here, it's we've got the record settings, 4.422s, 10 bits, all over the shop, 4.420s.
Yep.
So it's going to keep everyone happy, for sure.
Yeah. Very happy with that. You got to be happy with that. Yes. So.
Yeah, so Steve said Sony has announced new quad sensors. Just wondering, and
yes.
Again, that could be another camera. Who knows?
Well, that's true. I mean, we still haven't even heard about the
A7 IV
global sensors and that too.
Yeah,
so,
globals. Yeah,
I think they're going to be more like industry, like doctors and stuff like that. And car products, where they're putting the sensors in the car, like they can AI for detecting things ahead and stuff like that. So yeah.
I mean, a lot of the things that Sony brings out is also industrial sensors as well, guys. So you got to remember that not every sensor that comes out is going to be put into a consumer camera.
That's right.
It's obviously going to be for industrial work, like companies that do mass production, and they need cameras to keep an eye on conveyor belts, etc. And so they're actually supplying those sensors as well for those kind of cameras.
Daniel was just saying that the HMDI position is the problem. He's got to redesign the small.
Well, we're going to get to that, that is again good news for us. Obviously, it's a full size HDMI connection, so it's
that is
crazy.
Fantastic. I've never trusted the mini.
Yeah,
it's always a problem with those little things.
Yeah. So here's another shot, a video grab, and you can see up the top left hand side. I'll just drag this down a little bit more. And it was shot at 4K 60p S-Log2. I'm just going to slowly go through all these screen grabs bit by bit. We've got very lucky that we got to look in with all the things that we got to see.
I'll just remind
Steve says he's got to go, so see you later, Steve. Thanks for hopping in and seeing us. But the show is always going to be. You can review the show again afterwards, but I'm sure there's going to be so much Sony stuff going on YouTube. It's not going to be funny after midnight.
I just want to remind people too, as we're showing screenshots, we're not going to show the actual video that was leaked. I think that's, we don't want to go to that territory, so just bear with us, and Mark will just show the screenshots that he took, and we'll do it that way.
Yeah, and Michael says this leak might be the best thing. So this guy might actually get a pay rise instead of getting fired. Who knows?
Who
True,
knows?
Michael. You know, like it's one of those things where, look, Canon got onto the bandwagon where they just kept on saying, look, this camera is coming, this camera is coming. That went on for, I don't know, how long did it go on for? Like almost
Yeah, 2 months.
7 months or so. Like
Yeah.
it went on for quite some time.
Yeah.
Until it finally came out. So it was just boiling over, and
Yep.
so Sony hasn't really talked about this at all. And
Well, see, this is the thing that you've got to understand with Sony, because they usually keep things quiet. And what happened today?
10 years, says Michael.
But what happened today, a video being leaked before the announcement, that does not usually happen. And I was very, very surprised to see that actually happen. And in fact, the video is still going. It hasn't been taken down. So
Yeah.
I've spoken to the Sony people here in Australia, and yeah, they're not sure what's really going on. So, but anyhow, yeah.
Yeah, and here you can see another grab of the screen, and it's 4K 120p S-Log. And the good thing about 120 now, the good news is that it will record audio, which is fantastic, in the camera, which is yeah, just too darn good.
Yeah.
And yeah, Daniel, you'll have to start redesigning all these small rigs for this camera, but it's because of the HDMI and bits and pieces that they've changed, obviously. But it'll be worth your while. I'll pay you. I'll buy one. Okay, so
What
I'm
else
just
we
going to
got,
go to... Yeah, I'm just bringing up the next one. Sort of like... I got to get rid of one and bring up another one. Okay, so here we go. We've got the frame rates. Okay, so we can see recording frame rate at 120p, frame rate 30 frames per second, record setting
Yeah, that's
280.
for the S&Q, yeah.
280, and sorry, I'm just got to bring us down a
Yep.
little bit more. So it's 422 10-bit at 280 megabytes.
Wow. Yes.
I mean, it's and no overheating, guys. Just quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this thing is crazy, says Michael. It is just it is just going to be a fantastic Christmas present for myself.
And the thing is, what we're seeing so far now, we don't know the power version and in NES version as well. So it's going to be a bit of a difference like the old one, where here in Australia we use power, so we didn't have much selection unless we went over to the NES side of it, where you get all that selection as well. So it'd be interesting to see what this one will have as well.
Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't overheat, says Daniel. And well, the leaked video went on for, what is it, a 15-minute video, and he was, this guy was actually testing it outside, and he said there was no overheating, but he obviously works for B&H, and we don't know how true that is until the testers get onto it and let us know.
It sounded very promising, though. I mean,
Yeah.
It took what with Canon, you know, it took all those months, all about the specs, and everybody was hyped all that, and then the last couple of weeks, we're finding out you couldn't do much with the videos because it'll be overheating. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to bring up some low light images in a minute, Lauren, and show that as well. And here you can see that it's there is a new menu. It's called Creative Look. So there's a whole scroll down of different kinds of creative looks. So we can have preset creative looks. So you can do all your presets there, and sort of actually doing it in post editing. Interesting.
Yeah.
And fairly clean ISO at 400k. Yeah, it's 400k ISO. That's I don't know if I'll ever use 400k ISO. It's just, yeah, it looks like Sony went with less crazy, more workhorse. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the, I mean, this is definitely a pro level camera, and no ifs or buts. You know, they're just gonna
About time.
yeah. And
Yeah.
this is the showstopper for me. I mean, I love this, and I know, Daniel, you gotta you gotta redesign your small rigs, but there it is. I love this. It's full size HDMI out, and that's something that a lot of people have been waiting for. They've always been nagging Sony about just not having that, and here it is finally. Fantastic.
The only thing I haven't seen in any of the footages and the pictures that I've seen yet, originally they were going to have a vent hole, and then they changed their mind, and then there's no vent hole.
Yeah, I wonder where the cooling is. Yeah.
But the pictures we saw yesterday had block bits covering the back of the camera when it was flipped open, so you couldn't see.
Yeah.
But today's video showed you there was no vent holes or anything like that.
Yeah, so there's some sort of trickery going on here with where the heatsink is that everyone was talking about, and also the configuration of the camera doesn't really show you at all that it's actually any more bulky than the A7R4, which is really interesting.
We haven't actually seen the bottom. Have you noticed that? We haven't seen a picture of the bottom of the camera yet.
Yeah, that's something to be, But also in the reviewer's video, he did not talk about that at all.
No, he didn't.
Which is interesting.
So,
okay, so here we are, another menu, HDMI out. Output resolution is 2160p here in this case, and we've got raw output. You can turn that on or off. So for your external screens and recorders, everything is laid out and ready to go.
The other thing too, with the settings with the output of what you're recording is, don't forget the sound is involved in all of them.
Exactly.
So you get
sound at 120p, which is great. And so a lot of like what Michael said. I mean, this is going to be a Netflix camera, that everyone is going to be using for making low budget movies, etc. So it's just going to be perfect for that. Okay, I want to design a side plug that connects HDMI audio out into one block that you can connect and gives nice mixed cable. Yeah, that would be interesting, where you just plug in just one block that plugs in all the cables, your USB-C, HDMI, all in one go. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You can plug in the side of the battery group. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. There is no bottom. Yeah, I mean they haven't flipped the camera upside down to show us at all in any previews yet. So we're just waiting for that.
It just sort of made me think why they haven't shown.
So here's your low light image, Lauren, and so this was shot 4K 24p video. 409,600 ISO.
Yep.
Mind blowing. I mean, I come from film, and having 400 ISO was just amazing, So low light ISO. Yeah. Daniel says, to no bottom. Yeah, but it's quite incredible that you can shoot at this low level.
So it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm curious, guys, to everybody that is in the chat and watching. How many people are going to be staying up late tonight and actually watch the announcement. So
Well,
I
the
know I
overseas
am.
people are not. They'll see it during the day. We are the unlucky ones. You know, we're here. We are the lucky country. You know, we're way ahead of everyone else in time, and yet we have to be up till midnight and wait. But obviously, I'm gonna be just. I'll be up. I'll be waiting for this. It'll be interesting. Yeah, he put it on 5.6, F5.6, Daniel. Yeah, I saw that. But it was only for demonstration. I mean, he was trying to demo the the high ISO rate. Yeah.
Yep.
And Lauren is saying she's rubbing. Hey, Lauren, you locked up. You don't have anything to do. You can just grab coffees, lots and lots of coffees, like what I'm doing. You know, I'm supporting the Americans, by the way, tonight. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. And what else we got?
4 hours. 4 hours. Yep.
Well, actually,
and 17 minutes is Lauren.
it's going to be 12 o'clock Australian Standard Time. So
Yeah.
what's that? Around about 7 a.m. American.
Well, it depends where in America you are. That's
Yeah.
different regions there. Yeah. But I'm sure everyone will know what time this stuff is happening. It's
Yeah.
okay, and here we go. This is the another elephant in the room resolved. So we've got the two card slots that actually will serve two different types of cards. So one slot will do two different types of cards. So we actually got the tough cards there, as you can see, the CF cards and XDSC as well, which is fantastic, you know. So it is just so flexible. It is incredible.
But notice they're showing four different cards. Well, two different cards, but four. And I think someone wasn't too sure. Can you use two in one slot? And I don't think so.
No.
I think you can only use one card at a time in each
the
slot. So
what they've been saying is it's just really one slot, but it's a multi-adaptive slot.
that's right.
Yeah. So just one card per slot. But look, how many cards do you want to put in?
But mind you, to
so it's a dual
on the
fit,
release
says Daniel.
of this camera, release of this camera, they're going to release the new memory cards too.
We should bring that up. It's been announced that with this camera, there'll be an announcement that there will be a new CF Express Type A card.
Yep.
Which is really interesting, and obviously this is just for pushing, even more data and more speed.
Yeah.
And they will be available. There'll be two flavors available. Is that right?
Yes, they'll be available on both 80 gigabyte and 160 gigabyte capabilities.
Wow.
So read speed up to 800 megabytes a second, write speed up to 700 megabytes. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Loving every moment of this, So it's
so
it's
that'll
just
be
great.
for the CFE Express Type A cards, not compatible with Type B cards.
Right.
So yeah.
But I mean, it is just fantastic that we've got all these options, and I think this camera will. This is a 4-year camera body, as far as I'm concerned. At least 4 years. I don't think I'll need anything else for the for the time being. It will serve me well.
Yep.
Let us know, guys. What? Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. I'll go and have a look at that. Small bracket camera cage.
We like people to throw some questions out and tell us what your thoughts, what you now know before the actual announcement. So we want to interact with you guys and and talk in a big group, and yeah.
Like we initially had planned to do a live show right on on the announcement, but I'm just feeling that it's just going to be like there's going to be too many people online, and they'll be swamping they'll be hogging the actual cables. So we just thought we'll come in early, we'll do it comfortably. And there won't be much to say anyway. Once the announcement comes up, everyone would see what we're seeing more or less. So yeah.
But the thing is, I have to say that we saw more than that we should have seen before the actual Sony announcement. So it's sort of a bit of a spoiler alert, but I'm pretty sure there will be other things that they will say and announce that we probably weren't even expecting. So who knows?
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. It'll be fantastic either way. So guys, if and obviously we're going to be talking about this yet again come Sunday night where we actually are doing our live shows again. And here's another one, another shot. This is the actual screen menu. Hang on, I can pump this up a little bit more so we can get a better look at it. And again, Lauren, it's upside down. That Sony sign is upside down.
Yeah, I just got to sort of have a bit of a laugh at Lauren. Can you get us a nice discount?
Yeah.
We'll wait and see, okay?
Yeah, and I do not understand why camera manufacturers still keep going with these camera strap lugs. If I don't know what, see, I've got fairly big hands, and when I put my hand on the camera, it's always on this lug, like it's always it always lands in that hand there in the groove, and it's it does become annoying, Daniel, and I agree with you. I go along with that. They should come up with something better.
Yep.
It's old school stuff, and there must be something better out there, surely. But look, nevertheless.
Well, yeah.
I'm just talking. We're talking about small stuff now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those lugs is part of the hardware, so it's something like when any camera comes out with the hardware, it's not much you can do with it after that. It's not like you can do a firmware update.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. What Daniel said, like he said that he's hoping that they'll change the menus and in their latest cameras, and I can't see any reason now why they won't.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That could be interesting.
I have a funny feeling where we're going to even struggle just to get the color focusing brackets in
on the A7 III. Well, you need to update, Brett. I mean, this is a good update camera for you, and I can see that happening.
But look, I mean, I'm pretty sure sooner or later there'll be new updates coming. I mean, I'm just thinking in my head. I haven't been told or anything like that. And surely there must be some more updates coming out. I honestly thought they would have come out more in the pandemic times when we were actually physically locked down a lot across the country. But that didn't happen. But see what happens now. Now this camera is going to be released, and yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. And what's most exciting, says Michael, is to me is all of this power and this small mobile camera. Exactly, it is form factor, and it's great, and it has good AF. Good codecs, just a great time to shoot film and photography. And I was actually surprised that Sony brought this out, seeing that they got the FS5 and the FS7 video camera. And if everyone, if no one knows, I mean, it's this will sort of better that camera in a way, like it's not gonna outdo the FS5 and FS7 in for professionals,
Yeah.
but it's on par with it now. It's just quite incredible for that size camera. So I'm just hoping that Sony is going to come out with updates for the FS5 and FS7 now. You know, being and the crop sensors as well. Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen there.
And I suppose it really comes down to what we find out with the Kodaks. Are they going to be really user PC and laptop friendly? Because as we're seeing with the other cameras, they are struggling and they're eating up their CPU, which is I don't understand why the CPU has to be being used and not the graphic cards for rendering.
Yeah.
So that just blew my mind. Like I can't understand why the cripple hammer comes out and does for the cameras and stuff. So yeah, I don't see the point.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, you know, everyone is just having a go at the lugs, and like just exciting times really. Like it's just going to be so much to talk about when this camera is finally out in the market and people are actually getting a hold of it. And here again, you can see in this picture, I digress. You can see the actual opening for the slots, and I would say this very much looks. It's a bit dark, I understand, but. I can't really zoom in too much more. This will be a look very similar to the A7R4 and A9 II slot door.
Yeah, that actually pulls out towards you and then out.
Yep.
And not the little slit. The little
it's not like the A9 II where you actually got the button where you open it up and it flips open. You'll have the you basically pull it to you and then it flips open.
Yep, that's right.
But I can't show this because I'm recording on the A7R4.
Yep.
And here you can see it's got HEIF as well, which is really interesting. So
it's better in JPEG. The compression is a lot better in JPEG. So,
I didn't think that HEIF would actually go anywhere, and people would not use it. But look, Sony sees a future in HEIF, and which is better than JPEG. So it might actually now be seen a lot more.
Yeah, and is that a Sony? What do you call it?
Yeah, I don't know who I don't know who brought out that that compression. It's just it's a different kind of JPEG.
Yeah,
basically, it's
interesting.
Yeah, that's roughly.
So, yep, okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, so there's
Apple,
tons and Apple brought it out. Yeah, there you go. And you'll see there's tons and tons of configuration for this. It's quite incredible. And that is basically all the images that I've got here now. So now we're up for discussion. We can go back into our screen here.
Daniel was saying about the Atmos. So when you connect the Atmos, you get to ProRes in RAW, something like that. Was that right? I think it was.
I think you can go. Yeah, you can go higher resolution, obviously. With external as well, and it's. So
that basically eliminates something else that you got to have, say, like an editing program, or were you saying something like that the other day? I can't remember now.
Well, you can basically, you can transfer in RAW, and
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, color science is there. I'm just having a look at my cheat sheet here and just seeing what else we left out.
Apparently, yes, you color science. I don't really like saying the word color science.
Yep.
That's a Canon thing. I mean, I just see it's just color, improved color. I mean, there's really no science if there was a science, I think all camera manufacturers would be using the same science. So, but there's no standard, you know.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
yeah.
so you 16-bit. We're talking about 16-bit.
Yes.
For external recording. So if you want to record 16-bit, you can go there now with an external monitor.
Yep.
Recorder. So guys, that's about as far as I went. Became
So yeah,
so
guys,
lenses.
if you have any questions or want
Perhaps
to
they
talk about
released it
something,
just
please do.
Okay, so perhaps they released it to just put something out there with the Canon R5, R6. Yeah, but this is a completely different animal, Bill. I don't even think that, you know, a lot of people wanted to jump from Sony to Canon. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think there's going to be a lot of Canon users now having a look at Sony. Especially with, like, we had that discussion the other day with Daniel about AP, American Press, getting all the Sony cameras now and are getting exclusive. Sony's getting exclusivity on camera usage now, so that's going to be fantastic. And just imagine,
you're talking about the American Press, aren't you?
American Press, and so we're going to see. Yeah, a lot of, or we're going to hear a lot less of the cameras.
Yep.
No more clicking noises, etc. So everyone's going to be Sony.
Yeah. Yeah, 16-bit and even 14 stops. Wow. Well, it's actually 15, but yeah, a lot of people are sort of thinking 14, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, you can actually record external and at the same time record internal at the same time with this. So that wasn't possible before, but now you can actually do that as well with these. It's Sony is basically rolling out the red carpet. They're giving us everything that we've been asking for, and it's just it's a dream ride. I was going to put up candles here, you know, and make it all bloody glorious, you know. Dress up, you know, like Santa Claus would have been nice.
Yeah, Mark, I right from the very start, I've always told people the A7SIII is going to be it's going to meet our needs, and like they said right from the very start, expect more than what you're expected for them to bring out. And a lot of people were going nuts, like they didn't believe what they were saying, but it always stuck in my head. You just got to wait, and they took their time doing it, and I think it just shows you now the specs, and now they released and what we're seeing so far, and to everything revealed tonight, you're gonna know why they took their time. So
I think I just sold Daniel a camera. So he didn't realize it was HIF in camera. So there you go, Daniel. There you go, another way of actually getting money out of you.
Oh, valuable indeed. Yeah, it's a pity they couldn't. Well, maybe they might bring a lens out. A small enough lens that you might be able to drop an ND, circular ND in the actual lens. So, but I doubt that they will actually put a electronic ND in this camera and beat the F9. The F9's got that, hasn't it? So I believe. The
FX9,
Yep. Oh, the FX9. Sorry.
So Michael says, that's crazy. 16-bit and 14 stops. I mean, if all this is true, and it's almost like a dream right now, you know, and we'll find out in the announcement. I mean, these are all just right now. It's all rumors. You know, we don't know until Sony steps out and gives us all the rundown. But it just seems like a dream machine. It's fantastic for videographers, and I'm just going to see Sony everywhere now. You know, it's going to be Yeah.
Well, Daniel, that's a lot of YouTubers. That's what they do. They miss a lot of other things that you know, even photographers and videographers that look for other things.
And that's
Like
probably
we just
right.
pointed out one before.
Yeah, and
you
that's
know,
probably right that AP was made aware of what Sony was actually coming out with, and they've also seen the roadmap, and there's been promises made by Sony of what they will get, and I'm sure there's been a lot of conversation before AP, you know, gave Sony the nod, and and obviously for good reasons. You can see that happening now. Sony 15 stops, yes. Not 14, it's 15 stops. Still time for the candles. Yeah, we're not going to be running this show for too much longer. Because I need to have dinner. And prepare myself. You know, like, I mean, put aftershave on, get myself all ready for this camera. Still, it's €4,200 in. So it's not going to be cheap. Yeah, well, it is what it is. You know, it's you know, like when I remember when the Sony A9 came out, that was 7,000 Australian dollars, and so it's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want more, says Daniel. Daniel always wants more. He's very hungry with tech. Hope for one more thing. Say variable ND. No. they gotta keep something in the tank for the high end cameras, you know.
Yeah.
So variable ND. Yeah. Well, you can always screw one on to the front lens.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If 5,000 US. But I know Euro was going to be like €4.5. That's what I've been seeing, because that was German.
We'll see. We'll see once the price announcement comes. We know that B&H has already got a slot ready to go in their on their website for the A7S3. So as soon as the announcement is gone through, they'll be listing it, and we'll see what the price is. Then you can go by that. So many reviews even leaked, missed lots of details. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff filtering through bit by bit. Shope won't move that easy. Well, they have already moved, Daniel.
Well, I'm pretty sure by tomorrow, and when everybody wakes up, and you're going to start to see the prices coming out in B&H and Animal Armour and all those sort of things. So we won't have long
my coffee right now, Michael.
Okay. Michael's in the UK. I thought you were American.
Michael,
sorry.
are you? I thought you were. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, even better. You understand us then? You know, we're the we're the guys that actually got put on ships, you know, after we actually stole bread.
Yeah, Lauren. Unfortunately, as you know, when we get use things in Australia, we get double taxed and everything. So we fork out more money on camera and lenses. So I'll be waiting a while before things come down a little bit. And I'll have a conversation later on privately about that.
Yeah, that's the price I've been hearing, Daniel. $3,900 or $4,000 US. That's what I've been hearing. So but it could be $3,500. We just unless they actually bring it out and list it, we'll see. Okay. But obviously the price will balance in, you know. Like, I mean, now with the COVID virus, we just don't. It's going to be difficult. But we know that the release, the actual, the first people to receive it will be in August. So it's only a month from now. So that's really good.
Yep. Yeah. So.
I mean, 4K.
He lives in Hollywood, California.
Uh-huh.
Right. Okay, so have we got any more questions? Anything else that you wanted to talk about?
So there you
while
go.
we're on
Michael does live in America. There you go. Well, next time I
Hopefully-
come over to California, when the flights are going again, I usually go to San Francisco, Michael. So, yeah, I should look you up and see if we can catch up sometime.
Yeah.
I had plans dropping into LA as well. So, Euro tax is bad, bad, bad. We pay so much more. Well, not as much as what you do here in Australia, Daniel. It's shocking. Quite shocking over here.
Yeah.
We're getting gazumped all the time, and they also charge import duties here as well. So
Yeah, that's
the
right.
price is not. We can't just look at what the American price is and then look at our currency conversion because there's some extra going on top again, which is it
Because
sucks.
The Australian government see camera and lenses are luxury.
As a luxury, yeah, it's a luxury item.
Yeah, and that's why we pay a lot more than a lot of other countries.
Yeah,
So-
they see it as a luxury item, and funnily enough, I see it as a work tool.
Yep.
So
Yep. So it's a bit like our cars too. Like when you had a Ute or a Hilux or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, that they are all now to today like the SUV VU. So they are luxury, you know, but they're more common over in Europe and in America. They're like they drive them around like they're like a standard sort of vehicle.
Well,
So-
it's all tax grabbing here anyway. They got the import duties, and on top of that, they got GST as well.
Yep.
So goods and service taxes as well. So there's another 10% that goes on top.
Yep.
And so it's just money heisting on money heisting. They just
yeah.
they know how to use us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, looks like there's no more questions, and that then we're pretty much out of.
Yeah, love San Francisco,
content
says
now.
Daniel. Yeah, I love San Francisco. It's beautiful.
So all we
Beautiful
can
city.
do now is just wait till the live event starts up. And,
You're on, Michael. once the flights start up again, and which is going to be probably now next year, mid next year or something, if everything goes well. I mean, right now we're in this damn sauce, you know. So yeah, I just wish the doors would open up eventually.
And before we get hit up here again, Queensland, you and I are going on a trip. So
Yeah, let's talk about that quickly, Brett.
Yes.
We have got a trip organised for Saturday.
Yep.
So the people that are listening in and that are nearby, get in contact with us, and we
If
could
you want
do
to
a
join
meetup.
us, you're more than welcome.
Yep,
but
we're doing
yeah,
waterfalls.
Yes, and we're going to a very good location. We're not going to really disclose it at the moment, but
Yep.
yeah. So
So
Yeah.
hit us up, and you can find us in our Facebook, and just let us know that if you're interested in coming, and we'll just giving it away. No, we're not coming to Melbourne,
Melbourne.
Lauren.
No.
It's too
That's
you got
impossible.
you got too much infestation down there. Yeah, the COVID virus has broken out big time down in Melbourne, so
Yeah.
they're under lockdown. For everyone that is wondering what I'm talking about. And with that saying, it's time for us to knock off. And I hope everyone enjoyed the show and got to see all these previews of the A7R3, the A7S3. And we hope it's going to be everyone's camera in the future. And don't forget, just because it's a 12 megapixel camera, it still will make great images. I had a Nikon D200, which was, I think it's going by memory, I think it was a 10 megapixel camera, and I've still got pictures, and I should have brought up a picture and actually shown people what these images look like, and they're still standing up, and I shot them, I think I shot them in 2005, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So over 15 years ago, and the images are just amazing color and rendition. Low resolution sensors don't mean bad images.
Yeah, and that's right. And especially now we've got to use sensor stack. CMOS backlit.
It's a different animal.
Amazing quality out of this. So still images are not going to let you down. So it really depends on what you're shooting and so forth. And do you print really big?
Yeah,
that's the
it's gonna. This camera should just about be a great all-rounder. Like what Lauren says, 12 megapixels means nothing. So it's you can still have poster size images, no problems at all.
And especially at the high ISO and less noise. If you don't like noise, well, this is most definitely this camera's gonna pretty much do the job that you're looking for. So
well, I should just bring up quickly that because it's a 12.1 megapixel sensor, it also means that the battery consumption for that sensor should actually be lowered, and also that's why it's not overheating. So
that's another point.
So we might actually see more battery life out of this camera if you watch that in the specs. You might see that the images that this camera can shoot will be much better. Also, the battery is still the same as the previous cameras.
Yep.
So we've still got the Z battery, which is great. I love that. And
another thing
I don't
I've
have
got
to
to point
swap
out, even
batteries.
Even though that you can use 12 frames a second with strobe flash, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean that's mechanical Charlotte, and that, so that's pretty good if you're a photographer that likes flash photography and all that. So that's better than what the A9 can do. You can only do how many 5 frames a second in the A9 with mechanical. Yep. So there you go.
It's a bit of a slouch mechanically, but I never use mechanical. I've always got it electronic. Unless I'm in the studio, and in the studio 5 frames is fine. But that's the only hiccup. But let's wait until tonight. It's what are we at now? We're at another hour and 45 minutes to go. Is that right?
What? No.
No, sorry.
It's only 15 past 8 at the moment. So a few
I'm
hours
shocking
yet.
people, right? So 3 hours and 45 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. Don't want to give you all a heart attack.
Yeah, there you go. 3 hours and 45 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So,
new CPU might be less watts. Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know. I mean, once you record 4K, it's going to consume battery. Obviously, but just for normal shooting images, etc., it should actually be at a better performance. So fantastic, and I hope also that the battery grip. I've got the A7R4 battery grip, and I just wonder if the A7SIII will use the same battery grip, because it's the same contour body.
I'm pretty
so that
sure.
Will be interesting as well.
Sure that the A2 and the R4 will use the same as the S3 battery grip.
I'm just seeing Daniel's comment. I'm not going to work today.
So
are you going to ring up your work and hello, A7S3 A7S3 is coming out. I'm not coming to work.
Good
funny.
excuse,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, no. But they will share the A2 R4 will pretty much share the same battery grip. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening or rest of the day. And stay tuned. We're definitely going to be doing a show on Sunday, and I hope everyone is going to get everything out of this camera and have a look at pre-orders and or wait. I mean, I would recommend people just wait until the reviewers come in and they actually get their hands on the camera and show you all the bits and pieces, and also get your hands on a camera and maybe try it out before you do a pre-order. But again, in America, you do a pre-order, you can always send it back. Whereby here in Australia, you do a pre-order and you get it, you receive it. You can't give it back. You're stuck with that camera then.
But I'm guessing after tonight, we're going to be flooded. YouTube, Facebook on reviews. They're just going to be coming out in every direction. So
they'll be just firing off everywhere. YouTube's everywhere. So. Yeah. I mean, we had that same thing when the ZV-1 came out, and also when the Canons came out. There was just, everyone was under lockdown, and then right on midnight, boom, everyone just throws videos out that it takes you a month to chew through them.
You'll open your phone up tomorrow, and it'll be like thousands and thousands of notices that Sony A7SIII review, and so forth.
So Michael has already pre-ordered it in his mind, and wait until European users. And I'll just one more mention, just a quick one about the A7 IV. Now, just because the A7 III has been out for quite some time now doesn't actually mean that the A7 IV is going to be out anytime soon. So so a lot of people are already turning around and saying that they want to wait for the A7 IV. And I just don't know if there's actually a room for the A7 IV now. I know I'm biting into something that people don't want to hear, but with the A9 at that price range is what it is right now. The A7 III is still very usable. It's still a great tool to have. And now you got the S, and then you got the R4. Still got the R3 as well, and you got the A9 II. I mean, this is quite a range that I've got. So I don't think that Sony has got quite the need to bring out an A7 IV right now. But who knows? I mean, I'm just thinking out loud.
We're getting on 3 years now that the A7 III was released.
Yeah.
And it's still selling like crazy. And at the moment, but I know what you're getting at. Yes, I think it's come to a point now that the A7 series is come to pretty much a standstill. What more could you possibly do? Yes, I do agree there might be some firmware updates in getting, the color focusing brackets and, and maybe touch screen activated on these cameras, the 7 III and the R3 as well. I'll be pushing my luck with that. But if they could do that, I'll be a happy guy. But it is coming to a point where how much more can you possibly do with the A7 series, really to not override the R4 or the A9, in that getting that territory. So and
it is also like sometimes when you think about how reactive does Sony need to be right now, they are more or less the leaders of mirrorless cameras, and so they've got they don't really have too much to worry about, other than maybe Canon with the high-end 8K, etc. But I think that is it's not quite usable yet. That's the only problem. So
the other thing is I haven't really heard much about the A7 IV. it's really I don't know if it will be a thing. I've had people I know personally, not going to mention any names, but there's been no talk about that, and so forth. So it's going to be interesting. Yes, but what they'll bring out next after this. We could be looking maybe Series 5, or 8, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, so you don't know.
Well, I've always said that to you, Brett, and you know how I feel about the A7SIII. I always said I wanted a video centric. I need a video centric camera, and this probably just hits it out of the ocean. I mean, right now I've got the A9 and the A7R4, and I'm quite happy with their performances. I mean, this camera is probably going to be for me, whereby the A7 IV might not be so much for me. So I'm coming from that side.
Good night, Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, Michelle, you could have said hi. You should hang around. I might give you a call straight after the show.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a nightcap.
Yeah.
I hope they keep flippy screen on video models only. Well, I think now that they've brought it out, it could be that all models from now on will be flippy screen. But again, that's just me saying it.
Correct. I believe now that it's come out, that's what anything that new comes out, that's what you're sort of going to expect in the next one. So
because when you look at the molding of the cameras, they've always brought out like 2 or 3 different models, but the actual molding of the external of the camera is the same. So they've always kept that, so that keeps the cost for manufacturing down as well for Sony. And so if they got a flippy screen now, they might actually bring that out on an A7 IV. Yeah. Okay, guys.
Yes, look, I think by the tonight's announcement, I think this is gonna rock the world again, the camera world again. And expect more than what participated in what you want to get. I think really Sony have really listened,
Sony are just if all this is true, everything is true. I'm going to light another candle tonight. And probably not get any sleep, full of joy, and I'll be my brain is going to be cranking over and trying to work out exactly how many of these cameras I'm going to buy. Maybe not just one, maybe 2, maybe one for Brett. Who knows? It's so fun.
Daniel says, anyway, I want more.
Well, again, if you got if you got a flippy, if you're buying this camera and you don't like using the flip screen or for whatever reason, I mean, leave it closed. Like you don't have to use it. It's the same as all the other features that are in this camera. It's future proofing as well. So you might not be using it right now, but maybe in a year's time, you've got this body that's actually ready to go.
Look, I'm just pleased that there's not a camera on the market right now. What this camera is saying it's going to have, and it's really upping Sony's game right up the very top again. So, and now, like I said, now we're going to see by tomorrow, we're going to see lots of reviews and so forth, what the real world tests are going to be like. So
the A9 is 1mm bigger than the A7 III. Is that what you're saying, Daniel? I've never looked at it that way, but I did a while ago. I was on your Facebook and I actually drew up some dimensions, and I said that the i9 looked a little bit bigger on certain positions. That was a long time ago now, about a year ago now. But you could be right. But it's overall, when you look at the ergonomics, etc., it's always been roughly the same as A7 III and A7R III. So they've been keeping these ergonomics, and then they obviously went into the A7R4 and the A9 II, and obviously now it's going to be the A7S3, which will have the same configuration ergonomics.
Well, like you said,
maybe 1 mil bigger here or there.
He said he made the eye brackets. I'm right, so he knows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you will know the 1 millimeter. I mean, you've got engineering background, haven't you, Daniel? So, yeah, I didn't look at it that close. I'm a diesel fitter by trade.
But having said this, with you, the heat sink in the A7S3, how much bigger is in depth and the width? You know, I mean, it's hard to tell because there's no until we see the side-by-side comparisons and that, and to get a real good sense. It has the body has deepened a bit, maybe more, for allow the cooling system to breathe or whatever. So yeah, that's the thing we sort of need to pay attention right now and see what happens.
Yeah, so they are close, yeah, but obviously not the same molding. But when you see what they've done with the A7S3, where they place the record button, and when they put the C1 button, they basically just swapped out the buttons.
Yep.
I don't think there's any difference in size. There might be some difference in the molding, but very minor. Yeah. So it's so they're always trying to keep the same configuration more or less, you know. So it's just really interesting to see that happening. And I always said, you know, when an A7 IV comes out, or the S3 is going to come out, it's going to be the same size roughly as the R4. What's this?
Mark, it's Sunday. Sunny day.
Sony day. Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I think we need to wrap it up, Mike, before we start to really bore people.
Well, I'm sort of just dragging it out because I'm going to stay up until, you know, after midnight, you know that. Yeah. So Daniel said it's all about full metal body as heatsink. Yeah. Do you think they use the actual frame as a heatsink? I mean, obviously they use the frame as a heatsink, but nothing else? Is that all what they used in? Well,
they were talking about this passive flow something, you know, in the body. So
yeah. I'm sure someone's going to tear it all down and have a look at this heatsink eventually. Someone will just break their camera apart and have a look at it, and or maybe Sony might actually give us a look in to see what they've actually done.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, I'm gonna call it quits now, and I'm gonna go and have a snack and maybe a stiff coffee and wake myself up again. And we've only got mere hours to go now.
Get yourself up for the announcement. Yeah.
And Daniel said, they do that heat sinking already on the A7R4 and A9 Mark II. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So, but I always thought that they would have problems with 4K. 60, and now they're pushing out 120 and 240. It's just, wow, you know, like how do they manage the heat?
Yeah,
it's going to be a miracle.
Voodoo. Some new technology voodoo.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did you see a manufacturer is going to bring out now an electric fan that you can clip onto the back of Canon cameras?
Yeah.
So you flip out the screen and then you clip on this fan, like it's a computer fan that actually goes on the back of it, just to keep it cool.
I'm pretty sure when you're filming 8K, you're going to hear that fan and vibration and everything. So
it's got to be nuts. Well, you know, use a lav mic, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 hours and 29 minutes. Lauren is counting the minutes, and Michael is going LOL and
we're coming up.
Titler. That's the brand that's actually brought out this fan. It's hilarious. Yeah. and Small Rig is looking at him as well. Oh, no joke. So it's just it's incredible. Like it's creating a mini market for these sort of products now to keep cameras cool.
Yep.
Well, maybe. I'm pretty sure someone is gonna bring out a see-through fridge, so you can actually shoot from the fridge and leave the camera inside the fridge and just shoot through there. Yeah, Tilta is the company's name. Yes.
Anyhow, but yes. So you guys will see us next Sunday.
Refrigerator fan. Yeah, you're going to have the fan running, but that's not going to cool it down enough, and you'll have ice. You've got to hold ice blocks just outside of it, you know. Nah, enough fun made of Canon. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, really, they are a great camera and a great camera manufacturer, and I hope all the manufacturers still stay in business, you know, and it's really important for everyone to support camera manufacturers, as we do.
Yeah.
And I've left all my bank accounts and everything with Sony, so I've spent more than enough money on them, you know. So okay, so it's a piezo element. It's clever. Yeah, it's got a clip underneath the fan. You can clamp it onto your camera, and you got to have the frame with it as well. So the frame goes around the camera, and then the fan clips onto that frame part, and I've seen an image of it, and it love Canon, agreed. Yep. I mean, Canon by no means is a slouch, you know. They can great images they can make. Okay, guys, with that said, I hope everyone enjoys their time now with the announcement. It's only a very short time to go now. The wait is almost over.
3 hours to go, guys.
Until then, have a good time and enjoy yourselves. We'll see you all back here on Sunday, and we'll have more chatting to do.
Yeah. Anyhow, see you later. Take care.
Michael says, worry about me too.
And and keep on shooting.
The bank accounts. All testing new brackets later. Yeah. Okay, bye, Daniel, and everyone here. Lauren, I hope you stay safe, Lauren, and I hope your lockdown is not going to be too much longer, and everyone gets back onto the health track. Until next time, guys, see you all later, and goodbye.